Okay, so hello, my name is Asia Jennings, and today I'll be making a video on why I left Howard University in only 2 weeks. Now, I contemplated on making this video because I did not want to rub anyone the wrong way, because I understand that Howard University has a very huge name and a very big alumni base, and I just didn't want to offend anyone. However, I do want to inform those who are currently planning on going to Howard University upon graduation or transferring to Howard University from their current university or college. If you are a upcoming freshman to Howard University, or you're considering it like a prospective student, I definitely urge you to sit down and watch this video with your parent or guardian. And if you are a current student or a student that is thinking about transferring, I definitely urge you to watch this video. Now, like I said, I'm not doing this to, offend anyone. If you had an amazing experience at Howard and you're an alumni, or you're currently there and you're having an amazing experience, then congratulations to you. I'm glad you're having a good experience. I'm not here to break your spirit. That is against God. And I also understand that a lot of you carry Howard as if it's like just everything to you, and I understand that, but it's a big name like any other big name in this world. But I just want everyone to understand that there is no greater or bigger name than God, and He controls everything. So I just want that to be understood while I start this video. So I'm just gonna jump straight into it. I have like a little outline here of all the things that I kind of want to cover, and yeah, so I was planning on going to Howard University since I started East Georgia State College here in Augusta, Georgia at Augusta State University. It's a community college, and I started back in summer 2017, and I was like, okay, so as soon as I get my 30 credit hours, I'm going to go to Howard University to pursue my career as an actress, a professional actress, and I'm going to be in a theater arts program. The reason why I chose Howard University is because I was like, okay, they're having amazing progress. Well, they had amazing progress from people that graduated from there, and they made it in that field. So I was like, if they can do it, then I can do it. And it was just that type of thing. I didn't really think too much about it. I was like, I don't have to visit the school. I already know it's going to be a great school. It's an HBCU, so I'm going to be in there. And I was just, that's what I was speaking into existence. Like I was like, I have to make this A because I want to get into Howard and this and that. So in spring 2018, which was just the semester before this semester, fall 2018, I was just like, I have to do this because this is my last semester as a freshman. I'm about to be a sophomore. I'm about to go to Howard. So I was just like, I gotta make these A's. Like, I was grinding. Like, I was not playing any games. I had my head in the books. So I applied to Howard University, and it was like in, I believe, June or like at the end of May when the semester was over, and we got all our final grades back. So I was like, yes, I think I'm gonna get in, because like when I was talking to everyone, they were like, well, it's a very competitive school, and you may not get in, and this and that. And I was just like, wow, like this is real, like this is real. And that's probably how you all are feeling right now. Like, am I going to be able to get in? So I was accepted, and I wasn't too much excited. I wasn't jumping up and down. It wasn't so much of a feeling of like, yes, I got in. It was like, okay, so how am I going to pay for it? What's the next step? Like, I was super worried. The administration office was like super disorganized. Like, upon even trying to get information on rooms and housing, like I didn't even have a dorm assignment when I moved in. They were like, I was calling up there every day like, okay, did y'all get me a room assignment? Like, they were super unorganized, and they were like, well, we don't have any more rooms available. You might have to get off-campus housing and get on the waiting list. So I was emailing them back to back like, can I get on the waiting list? Nobody ever contacted me. Like, I was talking to students on Instagram like, do y'all have a room assignment yet? And they were like, no, we're continuing students and we still don't have a room assignment. And they were telling me to email such and such, and I was just like in a big cahoots. Like, it was just not a very like fun journey or process to moving into a dorm, because I never moved. I was never in a dorm. I was in a community college here where I live, so I was just going to school and coming back home and going to work and stuff. Well, yeah, so that's what it was for me. And you know, it wasn't a very big welcome. It was like the first day I got there, I was like worried, like, am I going to have somewhere to stay, you know, because I was like, I don't have enough money to pay $1,000 for off-campus housing, for an apartment and all this good stuff. And it was just like a very stressful day for me. We were all over the place trying to find things, and when I got in there, I had to wait for almost like 2 hours for them to find me a room. And when I got in my room, I didn't have a dorm, like a roommate. And it was like that for the entire 2 weeks that I was there, until that Friday that I was finna move out. I got a roommate, and I'll get to that. So before I go any further, I want to tell you all the myths about getting accepted into Howard University. So just like me, they told me, oh, you know, you might not get accepted because it's competitive. That is not true. They accept anybody who meets the requirements. They actually accept more students than they should, because they threaten you with, oh, you may not have a room because we have too many students. So that right there lets you know that you have a huge opportunity into getting in. The only way that you won't get accepted is if you don't meet their requirements, and that's just like real. Yeah, like I said, I had a late room assignment. I had to get my room assignment when I got there, and I still wasn't in the system to be in that room, I'm guessing, because they like the residence life people emailed me like the day of class, which was like August 20 something. And they were like, you have just not been put on the waiting list. And I'm like, school is legit starting, y'all are just now putting people on the waiting list for a room, and like school is just like up and going. Like, this was unorganized. So yeah, I told you about my experience over the phone. It was unorganized and it was just awful. Actually, when you have to do a $50 down payment for a room, and I paid my $50 down payment, but they never put it in. So I called up there and I was like, why is it not put in? Because I had to send it through a money order, because I was not able to get into my Bison Web account in time to get my money, you know, transferred. So I called to the cashier's check office, and the lady was like, well, we have it, but if you're not coming, you're not going to get your money back. And I was like, what? So she basically had my money sitting right there next to her the entire time and did not put it into the system. And that is why I probably didn't get my room assignment late. I'm sure if I did pay my payment early, they still wouldn't have had anything together. So that was a sign, like, don't go, like, just get your money now, and like, don't do it. So my experience on moving day, the RAs at the front desk are kind of rude, and like, they have students for RAs. Like, I don't know, it was my first time in a dorm, so they were like just having me sitting there, and they weren't trying to listen to me. They were working back next to the mail room, and like, they were like, you have to sit right here until we find out what your room is, because we don't have anything for you. But that day, that's when they just assigned me a room assignment, and I was trying to tell her that, and she didn't want to hear me. So I just kind of got up, I went downstairs to residence life. I was like, the girl up there is giving me a hard time, she's not listening to me, and this, that, and the third. And so they finally was like, she has a room assignment, it's just not in the system yet. And so then they were like, oh, okay. Like, they don't listen to you at all. They do not listen to your needs. They have students working for them, and the students are sorry. That's just the truth. Also, we had to have a meeting. Every like freshman and transfer student has to do the meeting, so they'll find out like the rules about the dorms, and like what you can do, what you can't do, and who can stay over what, and all that stuff. So they were kind of rude. The RAs, they sit at the front desk for check-ins, and like a lot of them are just really rude. Like, one of the girls, I'm going to say her name was Cheryl, and I believe she was a senior at Howard University, I'm not sure, but she was an RA, not on my floor, but she was really rude to me all the time. One time I was new there, I walked out, and then I walked in, I didn't have my ID, but I think I had my other state ID, but I had my room assignment, and she was just like, honey, like, you need to have that. And I was like, I understand it's serious, but you don't have to get an attitude. So every time I came in, like, she kind of like caused hectic, like, I need to know your room number. Even if I told her 3007A and I show her my ID, she would still like cause so much problem. So on the day of the meeting, when the RAs was telling us what we can or can't do, they put us on a scavenger hunt or whatever to find out all this craziness. So me and my group, we were standing there trying to figure out what we had to do next on the scavenger hunt, and the girl Cheryl, she came through and she bumped me, and it just made me feel some type of way. Like, I felt uncomfortable. I was going to report her, but I just was like, they're not gonna, I didn't feel like they were going to take it into consideration. So that really made me feel super uncomfortable. That shouldn't have happened at all. So I found out her name because I got tired of her giving me a hard time when I came in, and so I was just basically like, what's your name? Like, just tell me your name, so the next time me and you have an incident, I'm going to report you. Like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. So I'm just like, the RAs, they have bad attitudes, and a lot of other students complain about the RAs at their in their dorm, in their hall. Like, they say, yeah, we have really rude RAs too. So it's just not a very welcoming home, you know, experience. And we're paying like $9,000 to $10,000 for our rooms and our dorm, or just for living, and I just feel like nobody should be having like any type of problems. Okay, so like I said, I went there for theater arts, and I kind of went in doing theater arts. It was expensive. Like, your cost of attendance or your tuition for that semester depends mainly on what your school is. That's something I learned. So like, I called up to financial. I was like, does it depend on what school you go to? Like, what school you're in? Like, if you're in school of business, school of engineering, school of architecture, like, does that matter about your cost? And they're like, no, it doesn't matter. They was like, it's still going to be the same. But that's not true. Because I noticed that when I was doing theater arts, it was like my tuition, my like remaining was like $9,000, and then like when it was switched to, when my major was switched to political science, it was like $6,000 for me to pay out of my pocket. So, and that's still a lot of money. So it depends on what school you go to, which, if you have a double major or a minor, that's what's going to determine how expensive your tuition and attendance will be. So for me, I was going in paying at least $2,000 a month because I was on the payment plan. I didn't have any scholarships, and I couldn't take out student loans. I wasn't eligible, so I had to pay out of pocket, and that was like super stressful for me. And a lot of students were like talking about how they're in debt, but they feel like they're gonna make it, you know, and they have that faith. And I'm like, I'm gonna get into that. So I'm just gonna go to the theater arts. So if you know me, you know that I love like acting. Like, that's my dream. And upon like about to start classes and having everything, we had to audition to get into the theater arts program out the blue. And like, that for me was like, wow, like, we have to audition. And like, I haven't been like working on like any of my audition pieces because I was like super busy, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just get back into the groove when I go back to Howard. But when I got there, I found out last minute that we had to audition, and they didn't even send out an email to all the prospective students. I found out through another student while I was waiting to get my photo ID to have my bison photo with me. He was like, yeah, we have to audition tomorrow, and he gave me the email address to email and tell them that I wanted to audition. So I was like, wow. So I had to hurry up and find like my pieces and get them together, and I was like, you know, praying or whatever. And then I kind of was like thinking about paying for it, and I was like, how am I going to, like, am I even going to be able to stay here this semester? And like, I just had so much running through my mind. I was stressed out, I was unhappy, I was miserable, and I was just like, I didn't feel comfortable. So for me, I was like, okay, well, if the theater arts program is not organized and they don't have their stuff together, that is basically going to be like a huge sign for me on like whether or not I should stay here. Like, that's it. So we were auditioning and everything was kind of unorganized. Like how they went about everything was unorganized. Like everything was last minute and rushed. And so when it was time for me to do my audition pieces, I was just like, it's a fly in here. How did that fly get in here? It's getting on my nerves, I'm sorry, but it's super annoying. Okay, so when I went into the audition pieces, I fumbled and I messed up. I messed up on my second piece. My first piece was super strong, and I was like, I may not get in because of that. And so I just felt like I'm paying all this money. Like, it was so much going through my head. I was like, I'm paying all this money. I don't feel like I should even have to audition for this. Like, this should be just like another school that you can be a part of. And like, I was uncomfortable. And you know, I just started getting super money hungry. Like, I wasn't focusing on my classes because I was trying to find a job. And like with the waiting list for the dorms, it was the same thing for like being on work study. So like, you had to get on a waiting list for work study, and they got back to you super late. They weren't giving you information. They still never emailed me back. And it was just so much. Like, I was like, I don't even have a job to even try to save up enough to even make $1,000 by the time it's time for me to pay for my payment. Like, I was just like super stressed out, and I was kind of over it. So I'm still like thinking about it, just like makes me just so when I wasn't accepted into the theater arts program, I was a little bummed out, but I was like, well, I fumbled, I messed up. So I mean, and so they were like, well, since you didn't make it into our program, you have to change your major. And this is how I found out that the school that you attend is what determines what your tuition will be. So when I changed it to political science, I was like, the payment went down to from $2,000 to $1,000 for me to pay for my payment plan. And so I was like, okay. So I spoke with a theater professor there, and she was like, you didn't have to like, you know, change your major completely. You could have did a minor in theater arts and a major in like something else, like theater tech or theater administration, because you don't have to audition for that. And so I was like, but that's not what I came here for. Like, I just didn't want to waste my money. I didn't want to be here spending money on something, and like, this isn't what I came here for. Like, yeah, I want to do political science, but it's not what I wanted to major in. I wanted my main study or my main focus to be theater arts. Like, that's why I was grinding so hard in community college trying to get all A's, because I wanted to do this. And I was just like disappointed with the department in general, the professors, the way they talked to you, how they ran their business. Like, my theater arts professor, the intro to theater arts professor, he didn't have a syllabus for us on the day of the first day class. He canceled it because we didn't have a room. The second day he showed up on time, but he went to his office and took his precious time. And you know, he didn't really care like about nothing. Like, we didn't start class until super late. He didn't have a syllabus for us. He brought a whole bunch of books and a banana on top to class, and he was basically telling us that he was a teacher's assistant and not a real professor, and that you know, he doesn't even know if he's gonna get paid and this and that. And I was just like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not why I'm spending my money. I didn't come here to hear any of that. I came here to get my degree and learn. So I kind of was a little bummed out. The play that they were having was called Milk Like Sugar, Milk Like Honey or something, and it had curse words in it, and I wasn't feeling that because I'm trying to do right by God. And you know, it's a lot of things that's been just coming back on me and spiraling since Howard. So I kind of got super money hungry. And you know, I would talk to professors and I was like, why is there like an audition process for this? Because like, so many people was telling me like, I sold my Beyonce tickets to come here and do theater, I did this to come here and do theater, and they didn't get accepted. And I'm like, y'all are like sending people to other places from what they paid their money to come here for. And one of the professors was like, well, you can't buy talent. I'm like, cut it, because we're spending money to get our education, not to buy talent. I don't care if we're going to the school of business or what. we're spending our money, and we should not have to have an audition to get into this program. This is sick. So he was just like, face it, honey, the reason why you didn't get in was because you messed up on your monologue and this, that, and the third, and you weren't prepared, and just come back and try it again in the spring. And, you know, I was like, wow. He also told me that, you know, just because I get my degree in theater arts from Howard does not mean I'm going to get work, or I'm not going to get a job. He was like, that is not guaranteed that you're going to get a job after, you know, graduating Howard. So I was like, that's all I needed to hear. Like, first, the room, my dorm being messed up, and like not having a room assignment. Second, not being accepted into the theater arts program after working so hard and paying so much money. Third, to hear, you know, professors tell me that they can't guarantee that I'll get work, is all I needed for me to just know it's time for me to go, and that it's not for me. And that, you know, I don't want to get into so much debt, you know what I'm saying, trying to afford Howard, or any school really. Like, I'm going to dodge debt. So I packed my bags and I did a total withdrawal form, canceled my student loans, and I was like, I'm going home. And I ordered some books because I thought I wasn't for sure if I was staying. So I was like return to sender, but they still sent them to Howard while I'm here in Augusta, Georgia, and that's still an issue because the receptionists at College Hall South, like I said, the RAs, they're sorry and they don't like to help. They didn't want to send me to the mailroom. They lied to me and told me that the mailroom didn't have a phone when I saw a phone in there when I was at Howard. And the lady in the mailroom, they didn't, like, they'll act like they're going to help you. They'll get your phone number and everything, and they still won't help you. I'm trying to get my package returned to sender before the end of this month so that I don't have to, like, pay anything, you know. I'm trying to get the money back for the books. And that's just stressful in itself. They never processed my withdrawal form that I did, and I'm basically still in the system. And they're like, well, they just processed it and this and that, and it's going to take 8 weeks for them to finalize it and this and that. And I was just over it, you know, like, I'm over it right now. So if you're a prospective student, I just want to say, check it out first. I didn't visit, and online it looks like this beautiful, amazing university, but when you get there, it's broke down. Floors are being flooded with water when it rains inside of the classroom, so you can't sit in certain seats because it's flooded in a certain area. Buildings need renovations. It's tore down. The attitudes are disgusting. They don't have signs telling you where to go when you go to the administration office. They give you a runaround. Like, if you go to registrars, they'll be like, we don't handle that. Go to financial aid. Financial aid is like, we don't handle that. Go back down to registrar. Registrar is like, oh, well, financial aid is supposed to handle it. Financial aid sends you somewhere else again. Like, it's disorganized, and it's very unprofessional. It's very, very unprofessional. And you would think that, you know, oh, I'm black, you know, it's a HBCU, they're gonna support me, they're gonna accept me, they're gonna do right by me, you know, if anything, I know I can get my education from them, and it's going to be tremendous, and this and that. But it's the exact opposite. It's everything that people would expect to come from the black race. Is unprofessionalism, and disorganization, and miscommunication, bad attitudes, negativity, not wanting to help one another. Like, it's everything that they expect from us, and that is what's sad. When I didn't make any friends, I was just so worried about stuff that I didn't even want to, like, just do anything. I just wanted to stay in my dorm room and just try to figure out how I'm gonna make money and this and that, and it was just super stressful. If you can afford Howard, congratulations to you. I'm so happy for you, but that does not mean that they will not, you know, lose your documents or, you know, give you a hard time, because they will. And I just really urge you to look into it and really plan out what you want to do, because when you get there, they have so many students that don't even have a schedule or know what school they're going to attend, meaning that they don't have their full tuition paid yet, so they don't even know if they can afford Howard yet. So that's just super just unprofessional to me. Howard in itself is in a lot of debt. A lot of students are willing to get in debt to go to that school just because it's a huge name. But honestly, when you go there, I didn't feel the huge name. I don't see a lot of entrepreneurs or anybody that's big from there except or besides the actors that, you know, did make it. And a lot of the actors that, you know, came from Howard were not even like theater arts majors. They kind of like minored in communications and stuff and made it, and Howard is just like claiming them. The theater arts program is kind of claiming them. So yeah, it's just a lot to take in. So I'm just going to look into other schools. Me personally, I believe that off-campus housing is the best way to go. I spoke with a student before I left. He helped me move out, which was very sweet of him. We were talking about Howard as we were going about, and he was just like, we have to fund Howard. Like, as the students, we have to find ways to keep our HBCUs strong and to not be taken from us. But I don't feel like that HBCU was ours to begin with. Like, I just didn't feel it. I don't think it's up to us. I feel like the president of Howard University should be trying to find ways to do that, but instead he has students that are coming in to Howard University sleeping on their other students' dorm floors. The girl that moved in with me in my dorm, she told me that she was sleeping on the floor when she moved in, and they didn't have a room assignment for her, and she had to beg them to just like meet with her so she can tell them her situation, which was sad. And she didn't mind sleeping on that floor for that amount of time that she did, because she wanted to be at Howard that bad. She didn't even tell her mother that she was sleeping on the floor, because she didn't want her mother to be, you know, angry or like do anything like take her out of the school. So I just feel like there are students out here that are fooled and thinking that, okay, I'm going to Howard, I'm going to be guaranteed this opportunity, but really it's putting you in debt. It's unorganized, it's unprofessional, and you're not really getting the full-on teaching that you're applying for. Because I looked at the course schedule for theater arts at Howard, and then I looked at the theater course schedule for theater arts at Georgia Southern University, and it's a lot more Georgia Southern University compared to how it is at Howard University. I understand that Howard University is a Bachelor of Fine Arts, and you get your BFA in it, and then at Georgia Southern you get your BA, just your BA, just your bachelor's, but they have more, they offer more. So, and it's cheaper. Like this one student was saying, well, you know, I'm just going to get off-campus housing next time. But the cost of living in Washington, D.C. is extremely expensive. You can afford it, you can afford it. Congratulations to you. But I just think that it's smart to get your education and just have like be able to afford life in general. I don't think that you have to be in debt with student loans, and I think there's always another way around getting your education. For me personally, the best move was to leave Howard University. When I got back home, I just got money hungry. I was like, I need money, that I was willing to work at jobs that were not, you know, what God would want me to do. Just like cursing in that play was something that God wouldn't have wanted me to do, because I just don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? I understand I'm playing another character, but I just don't think at the end of the day I'm choosing to play a character that's cursing, and I just don't think that is something that we should portray in this world. And I thought I was going to be doing August Wilson and all that stuff, but it was just super just not what I thought. So, you know, I looked at the theater department at Georgia Southern. I was like, it looks like it could be a good prospective college for me, so I'm going to visit it next week, and I'm going to, you know, consider it, and I might just, you know, move over there for a spring semester. Also, I'm doing off-campus housing. The cost of living in Georgia is not that expensive. You can find an apartment from at least $300 to $500 a month, which is good. So I'm going apartment hunting after I visit the school, and I'm going to just go ahead and start getting that together, and I'm going to get my associates in political science and business administration, so I'm double majoring, and I'll be graduating in the summer, because this is, you know, it's an associate's degree, so it's 2 years. I already did my first year at East Georgia State College, and East Georgia State College is at Georgia Southern too, so I'll be doing that, and I'll also try to like just participate in anything that they have in the theater program while I'm there, do internships, try to find more out about my majors, get myself together, find a job, you know, over there that is in relation to my major, so I can make enough money, do work study also, but I also want to just start working in that field of political science so that I can just like start making money to support myself while being, you know, in my apartment, and just to live in general, and to afford life. And then I'm going to switch over to Georgia Southern to finish my degree in political science to get my BA, and then a BA in theater arts, and then I'm going, think God willingly, I'll go to law school to get my JD. So I will do all of this, God willingly, with, you know, his hand over me, keep myself covered, not sell my body or anything. When I was in Washington DC, I was going to the bank to empty it out so that I can afford Howard, and on my way back a man stopped me, and he was acting like he cared so much about like school and stuff, which my dad told me don't talk to strangers, but the man was just like, can you afford it financially? And he started looking me up and down like he was like, you know, like interested in my appearance, and he was like, I can help you baby, and this and that, and it was just super disgusting. And that's out there for you mothers that have daughters. It's out there. There are men out there that will, you know, try to offer your daughter an opportunity, help them financially, and even though you need it, you have to know that God has you. You have to know that you can get your education, and you don't have to worry about anything. There's smarter ways to do it. Get an apartment, off-campus living. If you live in state, if you're living in an apartment, you're considered to be in state. So like that helps, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause a lot of colleges are not that expensive if they're in state. Like it's $9,000 a semester. So just really think about that. And then like housing is what is really the majority cost of it, plus room and board, all of that. So you can legit like get through it. There's ways to do things. Like I could barely afford toilet tissue when I was up there, so I got really money hungry. I felt like I just needed money, but really Howard is just too expensive, and it'll put you in debt. Like there's so many students walking around saying, I'm in debt, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I'm just like praying for them. I'm praying for them. So just understand, like, God is a big name, and it doesn't matter what school that you go to. If you trust in God that you're going to get a job and that you're doing all you can to make sure that you get that education, you learn everything that you need to learn, I don't care what's on that resume. If you know your stuff and you can prove that you know your stuff, you're going to get a job. You pray, you work hard. Like, faith without works is dead. If you have faith and you're working, God will help you. He will supply a way for you. So do not worry about, oh, this is a big name school, I need to go there. This is a HBCU, I need to go there. Go where you can grow, and you know that you're going to be spending your money wisely, because at the end of the day, it's business. Howard is business. Every college is business. It's like dating. It's like my mom always told me, always have like more than one egg in your basket, and you choose which egg you like the most. That's the one that you date. It's just like colleges. At Howard, they are the ones that are like, nah, you know, y'all choose, you know, y'all don't have, we don't care if you choose us or not. Like, it's kind of like a nonchalant guy, like a bad guy, like it's a dog, like, you know, he'll treat you any kind of way. He don't really care, like, because he know that you're gonna keep coming back to him regardless. That is how Howard is, like, legit. They know that people care about them because it's Howard and things like that, so they don't really have to do too much to get you. And that's true. That's true. A lot of things are unorganized on the website in general, and it's like people still go because it's Howard. And a lot of students, when they get away from their mom, like at the RA meeting, they gave us condoms, and I understand that, you know, a lot of students get away from home and they go to college just to do things that their parents normally wouldn't let them do, but I personally, I wasn't there for that, and I felt like they should have at least asked, because it made me feel uncomfortable, you know, that they gave everybody condoms, and I just gave the goodie bag back to them. I just didn't feel like that was appropriate. I just wasn't there for that. And I also learned that dorm rooms just aren't for me. So, you know, it's all about what you can take and what is comfortable to you and what makes you feel most at home, because that's how you want to feel when you're in college, away from your mom and dad. You might think, oh, I want to get away from them. I'm ready to be my own person. But it is horrible out here in this world. It's cold out here in this world. Nobody loves you like mom and dad. Nobody loves you like the person you're living with. I don't care what type of issues you're having. Nobody has you like family. My mom and dad came back to get me as soon as I told them I was ready to go home. So many people would have left me up there. You know what I'm saying? But family will be by your side. So just know that you want to make sure that you talk to your parents every day while you're there. There were so many students that weren't even thinking about their parents when they were there. Like, I'm calling my mom every day, calling my dad every day. I'm just like really talking to my family, because nobody has you like your family. You know what I'm saying? So really think about that. You know, really consider that you want to be where your family can reach you, and even if they can't reach you, that you can talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't feel at home, and I didn't feel the love. And you know, I understand it's a cold world, but you can survive it if you're smart and you believe in God and you trust in Him and you have faith. It's a way. So within the community college, I definitely urge you to start there, because a lot of freshmen didn't understand anything about college. They didn't know to call their professor. They were still talking about teacher. They didn't know how to email a professor professionally. When you're in community college, they teach you all of that. They teach you how to email a professor. They teach you how to do speeches. Because when you jump right into college, university, you will be doing speeches, and like, you don't really learn how to do the format. So like, I just really urge you to do a community college, because you can, like, no matter what university you go to, you're gonna have to take core classes before you become a sophomore and you really get into your major. So I definitely urge you to go to a community college and just like branch out, you know, and start going to organizations or like doing things within the major that you want to do. But go to community college, get those basic subjects down for a cheaper price, and go ahead and start finding colleges that you want to transfer to, and just make a smart move. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and apply for scholarships, because I wasn't doing that. That's where I messed up. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to try again, because you don't ever have to give up. Like, I'm not giving up because Howard wasn't, you know, a good university for me. So I just definitely urge all of you to really consider it. Like, when I get my associate's degree, I'm going to, like, God willingly, I'm going to like go ahead and start working in my field and like getting jobs there, so I can start earning money to support myself and to build my own branch, you know, because that's what it's all about. You have to be out here working towards your future. You know, you can't really be worried about what someone else would do for you. You have to be out here getting it on your own, knowing that God has you every step of the way and that your family is behind you. That is all that matters, really. In college, you're going to make very good friends, not so good friends, but at the end of the day, just keep your head in the books and focus. Do what you have to do to get that degree, but don't do anything that's going to hurt you or your resume. So I thank you all for watching this video. I hope that I was very informative. I still haven't unpacked my bags, which is why this is the setting. This is my Howard hat right there. I bought that from Howard University. I have a sweater too. I still have love for just even having the faith to go up there and try it, even though it wasn't for me. That's why I bought it as a souvenir, to like be like, okay, this is one of the journeys that I went through in this little college life of mine. So I hope it's informative. If you have any questions, I will get back to all of you. Thank you so much. This may be my first and last video on YouTube. I just really wanted to get that out there because it's huge. College is a huge step and it's a beautiful step, but I want you all to know that just consider it. Consider doing your full research into Howard and, you know, really trying to find different colleges. I definitely urge you to go to a community college and get your freshman year out the way so you can really know what college is like, and it can be cheaper for you, and to save up money just for whatever. Get a savings account. get debit cards, don't get credit cards. You can build your credit by working and purchasing furniture, like all of that. Just do not get into debt. You're young, you have a full-on life ahead of you. People will try to bribe you and tell you wrong things. People will try to scam you because you're young, you don't know much. But stay strong. God has you. I'll pray for you. Pray for yourself. Pray with family. Pray with friends. There's so much more I could probably say, but I can't think of it on the spot right now. So just thank you so much, and God bless all of you. And I pray that you have the best opportunity in school journey, college journey ahead of you. And I pray everything goes good for you.